The perfect interaction with a narcissist is that you use them as a kind of fuel. The pain that they give you, you transform into various actions. And in some cases, you stop doing certain things. You reverse the transaction, you reverse the flow. It's like those of you into the idea of a trauma bond, you're going to reverse this trauma bond. You're going to traumatize them. But you're not going to do it in the way that they do it to you. They're much better at that kind of thing than you. The talking game. Because they're so petty. You'll lose if you go and fight them in their arena, and they will lose if you can drag them into your arena. You were attracted to this person for a reason, and they were also attracted to you for a reason. There's a transaction that needs to take place. You're going to replace the narcissist. You're going to become an authentic version of what they're pretending to be. There was something in them that you saw and valued. Something in you that they thought they could exploit. You're going to lose the battle and win the war, whereas they prefer to win the battle and lose the war. This will depend case by case, but it will generally be that there's something you can't do and you want the narcissist to do it for you. So maybe you're bad at maths, you're no good at accounting, you're disorganized, and you hope this person will organize you. It's a form of laziness and hero worship. The hero is going to do everything for you. You need to transform the narcissist into a type of inverse role model. This is how you shouldn't do things. You can see the worst way to do it, and then from there it gives you an idea of how to do it better. Narcissists can be a real boon, especially if you're just drifting through limbo, wasting your time. They come along and attack you and prompt you to get back on track. Maybe you need to learn how to drive, maybe you need to learn how to cook or build, whatever it is that you're so attracted to them by. There's something that you can develop in yourself. You can talk to the narcissist. This is the amateur's way of dealing with them. You just vent. You're just going to give them some truth. You're going to give them a piece of your mind. All they're going to do is take that, use it against you, and steal the information that you have given them. They might course correct, but at the same time throw you right off. They don't say thank you. They won't thank you for what you have done. They will instead blame you and punish you, because that's the best way to increase the status gap in their mind. So if you would thank them for what they did, that would bring them down to your level. Sort of, it's more mutual respect. Whereas if you do something for them and they insult you, and you take it, or you want to keep the conversation going, that shows how much better they are than you. Their idea of being better is nothing to do with morality or goodness. It's just status. Who's winning the game? Who's happy and who's sad? If they're happy and you're sad, they're winning. So you're going to be like a pig. Well, not really. You're going to be like the old adage about mud wrestling with the pig. You both get covered in shit, and only the pig likes it. The narcissist is a tar baby. They don't really stand for anything. So you're arguing with nobody. You're just hitting yourself, getting more and more stuck on them, trying to make sense of things. They're senseless people. They're trying to destroy sense and reason so that they can live in a fantasy that they're God. Well, they're not. They're an insane person. So why are you arguing with them? Do you pick fights with homeless schizophrenics that you meet? You try and persuade them, change their ways? No. So why are you doing it with the narcissist? Mistakenly, you believe that they are valuable, perhaps. You think that you can get to the end of it. Might be some value in there. Again, it's hero worship. You'll say the right words, and then they'll do something for you. They'll course correct, and you can just ride along. The only way you're going to beat the narcissist is through work, the very thing that they hate. There's this kind of inverse relationship that you will always have with the narcissist. It's not that they're the opposite of you. It's that they are a fake and phony version of what you want to be. A deceitful form of you, a false form of your potential. They want others to work, so you must invert the equation, and you must want to do the work. They've hurt you, they've enraged you, and this is a fantastic fuel. Of course, they may tell you not to be angry, not to defend yourself, but this anger is self-defense. You're not going to defend yourself by throwing your life away trying to destroy a single person. It's as though, you've got a rat infestation and you're going to deal to it with a shotgun. You're just going to keep blowing things to bits. Your house is just going to get more and more filled with holes. It's just the same thing. The more dysregulated you get, the more damage you do to your life. They're having a great time. You're yelling and screaming at them, and they know it hurts you. They know you're in pain. You're saying to them, I'm in pain. And they're savouring it. You don't want to show them your pain. You're going to bring pain to them. So you're going to take the energy that they have given you and you're going to go away and work on it. Let them play their stupid games. It's not going to end well for them, but you have to let it play out. They're not going to fail tomorrow, but eventually they will. Not that you will care by that time. If you have been working on the prompts that they've given you, you'll probably forget about them, even pity them, or maybe even feel thankful that they were in your life. You'll see them for what they are, a motivating force. The anger and indignation that you feel should spur you to do the real thing. So let's say that you love animals and you find this animal welfare shelter and there's this great charismatic person running it and you want to get involved. But you do get involved and very quickly you discover that there's a lot of abuse going on, staff and animals. So rather than trying to kind of work from the bottom, from a terrible statusless position, what you should do is learn what needs to be done. Okay, so in that case, at some point you may need to file some kind of complaint. Often though, narcissists are just, they kind of play the margins. They're not going to go too far. They're like plausible deniability. And then they have other cowardly people around themselves who may seem to be disgruntled, but if you stand up, they're going to melt away, leaving you on the chopping block, and things will continue as they were. Learn from them, learn what not to do, learn what not to be. Also protect yourself against people like that. Sometimes you encounter a narcissist and there's really no way you can get back at them. It's very fleeting, they're gone, you'll never see them again. But it should help you in future to think about how you can deal with that kind of person. So you've got a cockroach infestation. How are they getting in? It's going to take you some time to plug these holes. Just destroying them as they come in. Eventually your house is going to be full of pellets and cockroach corpses everywhere. You've got to get to the root of the problem. And so they have pointed to the root of the problem. Now it's time to do the work. We envy them. We wish we could just talk. We wish we could just say something and it would be so. That's the narcissist's fantasy, to be like God. To make things manifest by just saying something. Let there be this, let there be that, and it was so. That's their ideal. The narcissist is a religious experience in a way. Not a euphoric experience, but a harrowing experience that when you survive, you feel alive. You're going to beat them and you won't care. By the time you do it, you just won't even care anymore because you'll be so far above them. But you have to do the work. You have to translate those feelings into work. Going to them, as I say, raging, ranting, flattering, it's all food. You're saying you are significant. My life is not significant. You're the significant one. I want to live through you. I don't want to do my own thing. I have to be with you. If I can just repair you, if I can just fix you, I can be like a parasite. I can live vicariously through you. You'll be my hero. You'll fight for me. I don't have to do anything. I just need to instruct you. And so often that's where it goes wrong. You start trying to tell the narcissist what to do, how they could improve themselves. If they don't want to hear it, then that advice is for you. You must listen to it and you must do it, which is the hard part. Because we don't want to do it. We don't want to be by ourselves doing things. That's why we're attracted to them in the first place. A weakness. You'll find that the more terrible the abuser, the weaker the person that they're abusing. Anyone who allows another person to dominate them so fully is weak. You can find terrible abusers who they're going to act like, they're going to eat out of the hand of a strong person. They're going to abuse the hell out of a weak person. This is how narcs work. If you're much stronger, they go submissive. If you are about the same, they fight. And if they're stronger, they'll dominate you. So we have to deal with our own cowardice. We don't want to do those things that they did for us. We want to make excuses why we shouldn't act, why we should try and act on them, get them to do it, change them, turn them into a project. Our own house is on fire, and we're doing home repairs for the neighbour. It's no mistake that the narcissist came to you, simply going no contact with all narcissists, pretending you're a great person, and that's why people are attacking you, is arrogant and narcissistic. You're joining them. Maybe one day you'll become one of them, or something worse, an empath. Let that sink in. No. Let it sink in. Take your agency back. The narcissist is encouraging you to take your agency back. So they say something, you get angry. What are you going to do about it? How will you improve your life? How will you cheat the narcissist? How will you steal from them? How will you rob them? You have to go to work. You can't do what they do or you will become a narcissist. You've got to invert the situation. So where they pretend to do something, you really do it. Where they cheat and cut corners, you do it perfectly. You use your rage and your negative emotions, and you have many, and you use that as fuel. You don't say, oh, I shouldn't feel like this. This is wrong. I'll just, do some kind of talk therapy on myself until I don't feel like this anymore. It was a misunderstanding. I didn't see that. No, that didn't happen. I didn't see it. The idea is not to narcissistically abuse and gaslight yourself. Say, yeah, I saw that. That fucking hurt. Now I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to beat this person. I'm going to go to work. It will be lonely. It will be painful, but I will triumph. So when you go to work, give yourself a fighting chance. Take it slow. Say, okay, what do I need for this job? Get everything that you need. Prepare yourself properly. We don't want to behave like addicts, just doing everything slapdash and haphazard and racing all the time. No, we're going to slow it down. Okay, so what's the job? What do I need? Because you think, if you're a little bit upset already and things go wrong because you haven't prepared properly, you're going to lose it. You're going to dysregulate. You will rage. It'll bubble over. So no, you're going to do it properly. Give yourself time. Get the tools together. Make a space, push everything back, clear a space. So you have to say no to people, which should be easy when you're angry, because borderline empathy drops through the fucking floor. It becomes the inverse. Hatred for that kind of evil behavior. Powerful force. Nothing wrong with that. Why should you love evil? You shouldn't. It's wrong. You should hate it. People should be good. We should be good. Let's hate evil. Let's do something about it. Not in a sort of futile, short-term, destructive way, but in a long-term way. You're going to roach-proof your life. It's going to take time. There may be many holes that the roaches are getting in. But just going on the warpath all the time is just making more holes. You'll find that people who rage and rant against narcs, and they just keep, escalating, they're going to end up dead or in prison. Stacks of borderlines in prison. As I've said, if you find yourself having problems with narcissists, chances are you are a borderline. It seems they go together in a way. It's like puzzle pieces, like your evil twin. They're here for a purpose. They're here to put us back on track if used properly. If you mistake them for a quote-unquote real person, then you're in trouble. But if you see them as a moral lesson, you can act. You're free. The more tasks they give you, or the more impetus they give you to set and complete tasks, the less you have to deal with them. This momentum that you have will carry you past them. They won't stop you. If you're doing something that's important, good, noteworthy, they may try a little bit, but if they get in the way and everybody else sees it, they may be seen as doing a social evil, and people will say, "What are you doing that for? Don't do that." And they'll be rejected and kicked out of groups. So it's hard for them. It's much easier to pick on a dysregulated nutcase, shrieking and ranting and slashing tires and just misbehaving. It's easy for them to make you look bad then. But if you're working hard, getting things done, hard for them to make you look bad. And any time they do, it will just come across as sour grapes. People will kind of go, "Oh, yeah," but inside you're thinking, this is an envious person I'm dealing with here. They look so bitter and sad. The narcissist is losing. Narcissists work on a medium-term kind of range. They like to make little traps for people. They don't like to put too much effort into it because they think they're a genius. It's the tortoise and the hare. They like to make they have put a little bit of effort in, and they imagine that's going to solve the problem. You have to go longer term than them. If you go short term, start screaming and yelling and just rushing in, it's going to end up bad for you. Think of it like a ball of string. If you just yank it, it snarls more. You need to unpick this carefully. This is your task. They've given you a task to do. It kicks you out of dreamland, where you were slumbering, because we do like to slumber, we borderlines. We don't like the pain. We don't like the upset. We just want it to go away. But here's the narcissist to shake you out of your slumber. The pain is too great. After one of them insults you, it's hard to go back and do the kind of mediocre things that you were doing to keep the pain at bay. It won't work anymore. The only way that you can get rid of the pain is to win, is to beat them, to refute by your actions their assertions. Not to, if they're saying, they generally imply that you're crazy, so if you're frothing at the mouth, ranting and raving, jumping up and down, well, there you go. It doesn't matter if you say that you're not crazy, it's obvious to everyone that you are. Again, take yourself away. Take yourself away. You got to cool off. You got to cool off. Think of the short interactions, the interactions that you intentionally shorten. Think of them as, that's kind of like the blueprint, or that's it's a kind of crude raw material. You need to refine it now and get something out of it. That's the coal. You're going to crush it and make diamonds. They've thrown lemons. Time to make the lemonade. You put in the work. And you will find that you beat the narcissist without having to say a single thing to them. They may even just flee. Your accomplishments may make them flee as they scutter back into the darkness to be with the empaths and other assorted scum. If you want to beat them, you've got to play the long game. They'll thrash you every time if you fall into their trap, which is simply to become enraged, dysregulate, and, swing for the hills. No, it hurts. Endure that pain. Oh, okay, I see. It's like in the movies. You know what I mean? Like it's like the hero gets hit in the mouth and they get that blood, and then you gotta, it's time you gotta stop. Just put your finger to your mouth, taste the blood. Oh yeah, okay, my turn. But you're not going to do what they do. You're going to do something superior. It's your turn. You got to win. You got to be superior to them. You're not going to be an inauthentic trash can. You're going to be the real deal. It's going to take time. You're not a forgery. You're not a fugazi. You're the real thing, and that takes time. Things of value take time. So just think of what the narcissist does as the slap in the face with the gauntlet. That's not the fight. No, 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 no. That's the start. They want it to be over quick. They need you to either succumb and just give up, and they can have their way, or be an idiot and rage and just, make a mess, and they're going to win. No, what they don't want is a measured response. You've got to be able to endure that pain. At the start, take the pain away. Don't give it back to them. That's what they want. This is the equation. They prod you a little bit and then you go off and they siphon it all. No. They've given you a gift. All right. That's what you think. Okay. Yep. Right. I've got to go. By the way, da-da-da-da-da. You leave. Now the fight happens. The fight happens when you are not there. The fight happens when you are alone, making things of value. That's the real battle. You deal with your inner narcissist that tells you you're just fine and you don't need to change. La 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 la. You can just go back to avoiding pain and seeking pleasure and things will be fine. That's your narcissist. You've got to battle that first, and when you master and conquer that, you'll feel the sense of pride and there'll be a certain fortitude within you. Steadfastness, and it will radiate off you. It's authentic. Your body is going to reflect that. You won't need to do anything. You know what I mean? You don't need to say anything. You won't need to posture. Something about you will have changed, and it may get back to the narcissist through their eyes and ears, which are their other people. You may have heard them called flying monkeys. That's their web. They like to feel the tremors in the web. They like to, how's such and such doing? They ask their friend, quote unquote. Oh yeah, how's that? They might do it in a roundabout way, but other people are their eyes and ears. You disappear. Now they have almost no kind of, their sonar isn't working anymore. Where have you gone? You're invisible. They might hear, such and such is busy. Well, that's frightening. What are they doing? Oh, they're working on something. Well, I don't know what they're doing. They're just really busy at the moment. Oh, shit. What are they doing? It's a threat. You're an unknown when you go to the narcissist. Rant and rave. Shake your fists. Now they know exactly what you think. They know exactly where you are. Now they can act accordingly. Especially because you are crazy and you're going to be very predictable. You're going to attack them probably in a stupid way. They'll bait you into doing something illegal. Why not? Then the authorities can deal with you. The authorities can become their flying monkeys. You've got to take that initial pain. It's very hard. It's very hard. But as you do this, as you get victories over them through your actions, and you feel how resounding those victories and how complete the utter rout, the annihilation that you mete out on them, as you feel that and you see how effective it is, you'll be less and less inclined just to rage or to collapse. You'll say, no, this pain that I feel means something. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work. Now, this is like a whip. It's a goad. Now it's time to work. Like a big, lazy workhorse that's incredibly powerful but just wants to lay about all day. The narcissist is like some kind of bee. get your sting. Now you're up. Now you don't want to sit down anymore. You've got to work it off. Work that pain off. Most metaphors don't bear up to close scrutiny. But when you do work it off, you find that you are much stronger than them now. They have strengthened you, and they are humiliated as a result, because obviously what they wanted to do is the opposite. They wanted to weaken you for a temporary high. Instead, they have given you long-term, long-lasting strength. It may not be a lot, it may just be a little. They have just prompted you to learn how to drive or something. Still, you'll feel good. You use the narcissist and they don't use you. You're going to invert the proposition, and this is the perfect way to deal with them. To reverse what they would do to you. They were going to shame you, now you'll shame them. But you're going to do it thoroughly by blotting out the sun, by taking their light, their oxygen. You're going to become an authentic version of what they were pretending to be. And so they will lose attention, and the attention will go to you. And that is the only way that you may beat them. It would be nice if you could just rant and rave and get your way, but it hasn't worked, has it? It's just led you into some bad places. Life's not that simple. It would be nice if you could just be aggressive all the time, just aggressively lash out. It doesn't work. You've got to be smart about this. You've got to be resolute. You've got to learn the lesson. You're going to be authentic and real. You're going to annihilate them by replacing them.